1-0 deficit. Ricky goes, a pitch taken, he's going to have it. He does. Ricky Henderson, no contest, steals third base, jerks the bag from its moorings, and holds it aloft, representing number 939.
But now looking into Buster Posey. 1 ball and 2 strikes. On the ground, Arias from deep third, got him! And that's a perfect game. And the Giants mobbing Matt Cain on the pitcher's mound.
Swung on and hammered, high, deep to left, away, out of here.
Yes. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Taps and Jacks. I almost said Tapping Sports. Welcome to Taps and Jacks. I'm your host, Jordan. Stacks on Stacks Lats. Joined with my guy, Mr. Big Ball and Ben Larson. How we doing tonight, Ben?
We're getting one more day closer to the weekend, and I got some weekend vibes going today. So,
Nice.
Makes me happy. But I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Yeah, man. Baseball is right around the corner, man.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Pitchers are starting to pitch 3 innings instead of 1 or 2 now. So
yeah,
we're getting there. Ben. We're right there.
I just love having the games on during the day. I got it in the background while I'm working when I work from home, and
yeah,
like I don't even pay attention to it, but the background noise and the crack of the bat and having the announcers just talk baseball it's a beautiful thing.
Yes. Pretty soon it'll be regular season games you'll be watching during the day.
I might have to pay a little bit more attention to those, but
well, I mean, if you had the audio on, it's all
yeah,
it don't matter.
Yep.
But yeah, man. So NL West preview today. And then what are we doing Sunday?
I believe we are talking about awards.
Award features. Yeah. We're
Yeah.
gonna do award features. So like MVP, Cy Youngs, et cetera. So yeah, that'll be a good one. And then, the following Tuesday we really we're gonna start talking, regular season. We're gonna talk about the Dodgers and Cubs series in Japan. So it'll be good times, man. It'll be good.
Yep.
Excited for that. And then we're really moving on to this regular season, Ben. It's right around the corner.
Yeah, we've got next Sunday, Tuesday, and the Sunday after that is position futures, and look forward to the Tokyo series. And then Tuesday we talk Tokyo series game 1 and game 2 bets.
Yeah. It's gonna be good, man.
Yeah.
Dude, the Dodgers are going to be like minus 300 every game now this year.
Oh, it's going to be ridiculous. The only thing that you can bet if you want to bet a side on the Dodgers games is going to be minus 1.5. And a lot of times it's going to jump up to minus 2.5.
I was going to say there's going to be a lot of minus 1.5, so minus 180. It's going to be crazy, dude.
Yeah.
It's going to be very fascinating to see. There's probably only going to be a few series that they're underdogs in, and that's when they're on the road to maybe
the Phillies in the Wheeler game.
Yeah, dude.
Maybe the first Mets Shota game, or not Shota. Sorry, not Mets Shota. Mets
Senga?
Yeah. But probably not.
It'd have to be it would have to be in New York.
Oh yeah. Yeah. At home they're going to be favored every single year.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking crazy.
Unless it's a number 1, your ace going up against their number 5.
Dude, their number 5 is like fucking Roki Sasaki.
If Roki sucks. I mean, Roki got raked his first at bat.
He
So
looked good today, man. He looked good
yeah,
today.
that's true.
The splitter looked really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the Dodgers. I mean, we're obviously gonna talk about it. It's gonna be fascinating. But what are you sipping on, Ben?
So today, I kind of mentioned it earlier. I've got those weekend vibes, and that is a Coronado Brewing Company. This is it's an IPA, American IPA, coming in at 6.8%. It's got Mosaic, Citra, and Simcoe hops. This is from Coronado Brewing Company in Coronado, California, which is basically San Diego. So this is one that I've had before. So this is not the first time that I'm trying it, but it is a very hop forward IPA, but it's the tropical hops. So you're going to get a lot of citruses. You're going to get that pineapple, maybe a little like mango, at least in the florals of it. The citruses do come out in the tastes. So, it's a great beer. Looking forward to actually ranking it. I don't think I've ever ranked it before. So
It's a good one, dude.
giving you a number. It is. You mentioned it a couple weeks ago that you got it, and then you killed the whole pack
Six
before
pack,
we
yeah.
got onto the show.
Yeah. That was a good Saturday night.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. Yeah, I'll give it. You mentioned it. I saw it, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get it. So
Hell yeah, love that. Love that. All right, so NL West, for those that aren't familiar, very similar to the NL East, where it's really deep. Obviously, the Dodgers are, the favorites to repeat World Series champions. So, and the Dodgers are obviously in this division. But this is one of the better divisions, so it's going to be interesting how this breaks down this division. But let's hop into it. So the first team is the Colorado Rockies. Their win total is anywhere from 58.5 to 60.5. Last year they were 61 and 101, and they did go over their win total last year. By the way, their win total was like 58.5, so they did go over. And obviously, the Rockies, they play in a really difficult division. They're a really young team. What do you think about the Rockies this year, Ben?
I mean, I think this number is spot on at 53. It could even be
No, it's 50.
53.5.
No, 58.5 to 60.5 is 58.5 is the lowest, 60.5 is the highest. The White Sox are 53.5.
Yeah, no, but I thought. Oh, there we go.
No, they're not that bad, but they are the second lowest win total in all of baseball.
Yeah, right next to the White Sox. That's probably why.
Yeah.
I wrote 53, but so I again, I think this is kind of right around that number. 53 is probably 53 to 55 is right around that number of where they're going to be. And I think that's just a big part of the division that they play in. They're going to be playing 13 games now against each team in this division. And I think each one of those games is going to be a difficult game for them. That kind of brings you up to 56 of your 162 being against very difficult division rivals here. And even when they're at home, I think it's going to be hard for them to win these games.
But they're always good at home, dude.
They're good at home, but a lot of again, I see Arizona raking in Colorado. I see San Diego, LA.
Yeah, but the Rockies, they always pull off upsets at home, dude.
Yeah, but I think,
yeah, I mean, dude, I get what you're saying. The good teams are gonna go in there and they should win. They absolutely should win. But the Rockies every single year, dude, they pull off an upset. Dude, they historically, except for last year, they have dominated the Padres in the last 3 or 4 years. They just always play the Padres well. I don't know why. Last year was really I think last year was the first year in 3 years where the Padres won a series in Colorado. They just play good at home.
Yeah.
They beat the Red Sox in a series at home last year.
At home they were 37 and 44.
Much better than their road splits.
I think Yeah, on the road they were 24-57.
Yeah.
Do I have advanced splits here? No, I don't. I can't see what they were in their division, unfortunately. But yeah, I just think every team in this division got better. San Diego being the
Yeah. No, I
probably
don't disagree.
the one that stood pat. Um,
No, San Diego definitely, like, if anything, they got worse, dude.
yeah,
They lost Profar. They lost um Hassan Kim. Uh,
yeah, but Hassan Kim didn't play much of that last year at all.
I mean, he missed like the last half of the season, but I mean, he's one of the best defensive shortstops when he's healthy.
Agreed, but they also have like 6 shortstops. So,
Yeah.
um,
And then they also lost Tanner Scott, and then what's his face is out for the year with TJ. Fucking oh my god, fucking dude from last year. They got TJ in the playoffs.
Musgrove.
Musgrove, thank you.
Yep.
So he's out for the year. So, but we'll get to the Padres. But yes, I think that obviously the Diamondbacks got better. The Giants still suck, and the Dodgers
The
got better.
the Giants got better, and I think a lot of what the Giants got better at is
We'll
they're
we'll,
not injured.
we'll talk about the Giants. We'll talk about
Yeah.
the Giants. But the same thing could be said for the Rockies. Like Nolan Jones was hurt like all of last year. Chris Bryant's like always hurt. You probably aren't going to get much
Yeah.
out of him.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Uh,
this is an interesting team to me, dude. Is because like they do have some good young players.
They
It's-
do.
I just don't know. Like they're obviously never going to be a good pitching team. Like that's always going to be their downfall. Unfortunately,
Even with the pitchers that they have, they like 3 of these guys throw fucking beach balls.
yeah, they don't have a good rotation. Herman Marquez is good when he's healthy, but I mean he's coming off two injury plagued years, so I don't know.
Yeah, and he likes the juice. So like, is he gonna get dinged again? I'm serious. Like, is he gonna get dinged again? He's gotten dinged twice now.
Marquez?
Yeah, after the first time, you'd think he'd stop.
When did he get dinged for the second one?
Last year, the beginning of last year.
He was hurt last year.
No, the beginning of last year, he got.
Did he really?
Yeah, he's gotten dinged twice.
Interesting. If you find that, let me know. Because I don't recall that. But I could absolutely be wrong. But anyways, they actually have a couple good relievers. I really like Victor Vodnik. He's got some really nice stuff. So I don't think their bullpen is like going to be fucking terrible. But yeah, man, the pitching is definitely going to be of concern. I wouldn't play this under though. I think 58.5 is really low, especially if they're gonna win 35 to 40 home games, and you're really just asking for, to win a quarter of your fucking road games.
Mhm.
This reminds me a lot of like the Nationals last year, why we played the Nationals, even though Nationals was a little bit higher. I still think this team's gonna rally off enough wins. Like I think the offense is good enough. If healthy, obviously, but I do think the offense is good enough. And then you're bringing up a lot of prospects that are coming up, like Veen. He's looked pretty decent in spring training. Yeah, man, this team's just really young, and their pitching is a huge fucking question mark. But I would not play under on this, dude. I would not. Are you still looking up that Marquez shit, bro?
Yeah, but I'm thinking it's who's the pitcher with the last name of Jermaine?
Oh, that's Domingo Herman.
Herman. Yep.
But this
He
is
was the one who's
this
got
is
twice.
Herman.
Yep.
This is
Yeah,
Herman
yeah,
Marquez.
yeah.
But he is coming off 2 injury rattled years. I mean, he's
Yeah,
barely
it's the,
played.
the Tommy John. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's who I was thinking of, though.
Yeah, I think he's
But-
like on a minor league contract with like the Brewers or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is a lean under for me. This is not a bet for me because 58 is low. You'd hope that a team can win 30% of their games.
Yeah.
And will we see it or not? I don't know. I lean under on this one. I think it's right around 33 to 35. Sorry, 53 to 55. Is kind of where they're going to end up. I'm with you. They do have some young guys, Brenton Doyle, Ryan McMahon, Zico Tovar, Nolan Jones when he's healthy, and then things just drop off. And then that drop off and
Well, Hunter Goodman's got like a lot of potential. Sam Hilliard too. Obviously he's like over 30, but Jacob Stallings had a really good year last year. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of their guys are just like really young, Ben, like coming up in the fucking minors and stuff. Like a lot of their top prospects are probably going to break the bigs at some point this year, just because like when you're bad, you might as well play your young guys and give them experience.
yeah.
So I think we're going to see a lot of their young guys. Now the one thing about having a lot of young guys is obviously, the inconsistency. You're going to get a lot of ebbs and flows. Like very rarely do you get a Jackson Merrill who's like just very consistent the entire
Throughout
season.
the whole season, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's where like the losing comes in, and they got to learn how to make those adjustments, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I thought last year, because a lot of their guys were really young last year, like a lot of them, it was their first really full season in the majors. And I thought like towards the end of the year, they looked really good. And Brenton Doyle missed some time last year. He's probably the best defensive center fielder in baseball, and he also can swing it. But losing Nolan Jones last year, I mean, that hurt because he was really good the year before.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but I mean, you've got Tyro Estrada, Chris Bryant, you've got Jordan Beck.
Yeah, they got a lot of mid.
Yeah.
But you never know in cores, dude. Like some guys, like Jacob Stallings had a career year last year. Like he was actually like pretty decent.
But he's 1 year older.
Yeah.
He's almost 35 and a half now.
But he's a good veteran to have in there.
Yeah. And I think Chris Bryant is too.
Yeah. So is McMahon and signing Kyle Farmer. Like I think those are all good, veteran presences to have in the locker room to like kind of keep the young guys level headed and shit. Because like I said, like last year the Nationals, Ben, like they hella lacked a mature clubhouse. Like they were super young, right? And we kind of saw it like almost really go off the rails at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing with young teams. But I mean, I'm not expecting the Rockies to make the playoffs or anything.
Oh no. They're still a ways away. They're a rotation away from making the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's just tough with Colorado, bro, because obviously it's like so offensive oriented, and how I always talk about like build your team around your ballpark. You know what I mean? Like the Giants should always build around pitching because they have a pitcher friendly ballpark. The Padres as well.
Yeah.
But the Rockies, dude, they need to have like a bopper offense.
Yeah, they have to have a bopper offense, and they have to have 5 pitchers that are ground ball pitchers.
You would hope,
and even then, what's that?
So you would hope so, but I mean, like just pitching so often in cores, like your numbers are always going to be like
inflated, yeah,
slightly inflated. Although Herman Marquez is one of the few players that his home road splits are like crazy because he has way better home splits at cores than he does on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think.
Yeah, but
what was that?
Go ahead. I was gonna say, but getting up there in age, and coming off a TJ, like that could flip real quick.
Yeah, I mean, their rotation's fucking dog shit.
Yep.
That's putting it nice. All right, let's move on to the next team. The San Francisco Giants. Their win total is anywhere from 79.5 to 80.5. Ben, you are the Giants fan, so I'll give you the floor on the Giants here, and tell us why you're gonna bet the over.
This is a no bet for me. I think they're a 500 team, so I do lean the over here. Okay. I think they're an 81 team again. This is going to be a very difficult division, and that's the majority of the reason why. They have one less team to worry about than Colorado does, because Colorado is just that step below. But I think the biggest thing for the Giants is that they're healthy going into the season, which is something that we saw a major drop off from last year, not only in pitching but in hitting and fielding as well. Um, so I like the addition of Willie Adames. I think that our infield is going to be one of the better defensive infields in the NL, maybe the division, um, because you've got Patrick Bailey at the plate, one of the best defensive catchers. You've got Willie Adames, who is probably in the top 5 for NL in defensive shortstops. You've got Matt Chapman, who's one of the best defensive third basemen. You've got Tyler Fitzgerald, who came in and played incredibly last year, both offensively and defensively. And then you've got Lamont Wade Jr. And I'm also thinking that we're going to see Bryce Eldridge come up in the year to play first base. So I think our infield is very set. I'm a little questioned on our outfield. Jung-Ho Lee, I hope we can get a full season out of him. He was outstanding offensively and defensively. I'm a little worried about Yastrzemski. He had a horrible season last year, and I don't know if that was the start of the downhill progression for Yastrzemski. And then you've got Heliot Ramos, who definitely showed very good signs last year out in left field. So you also have Gerard Encarnacion that you can throw out there, into the outfield as well. But he's going to be DHing. So, I think you have Luis Matos as well. I think defensively this team is going to be really good. It's the offense that we have to question. They struggled to put up runs last year. Can they do it this year? They should be able to. But they should have been able to put up runs last year. So I'm hopeful, but pitching is still going to be the big question mark. I do love Verlander signing. I think that's going to be good for the young pitchers.
Yeah.
To get his knowledge. I don't think he's going to be, go out there and have a 15-win season. He could, but I doubt it. But he is more there for kind of the mentoring of the young guys, of the Kyle Harrison, of the Jordan Hicks, of the Ryan Walker, of Camilo Duvall, of Birdsong, and to learn from someone like Verlander is going to be a huge addition for them.
I don't think the Giants pitching is any question. I think their bullpen's good, and they have a ton of depth in their starting pitching too, because you got guys like Landon Roop, who's like coming up, and he looks really fucking good in spring training this year. Mm-hmm. Mason Black also has really good stuff. Obviously, you talked about Birdsong too, so I don't really have concerns about their starting rotation because they have a ton of depth there. Like if one of those older guys goes down, you just kind of slide those young guys in there and give them that opportunity. My biggest
they're missing an ace though.
What's that?
They're missing their ace though, because Logan Webb isn't it anymore.
No, Robbie Hayden Birdsong could very well take that step. Kyle Harrison could also take a leap. I mean, Kyle Harrison was once, one of the top prospects in baseball. Mm-hmm. So he's not far removed from that. I mean, he looked really good his rookie year, and then he had some moments last year. His velocity was down, which was a huge concern, but if he bounces back, I don't worry about the Giants pitching. The Giants always figure out pitching, dude. The Giants never have bad pitching. The Giants always have good pitching, bro. That's just one thing they do well.
They didn't have a good bullpen pitching last year.
It was inconsistent. Inconsistent. Yes.
Yes.
Like really outside of Ryan Walker, you didn't know what you were going to get on a night to night basis. But
Nope.
but towards the end of the year, they kind of did figure out, and I thought a big part of that was like they were bobbling people's roles and stuff, and especially Duvall.
Mhm.
And like he was so young that it felt like it kind of like mentally fucked with him. But towards the end of the last year, he started looking like himself at towards the end of the last season.
Yeah.
And
When he was that setup man and not the closer.
yeah, and I think that's a perfect role for him. Like I definitely think Ryan Walker's the best reliever they have. And then Jelly was really good last year too.
Mhm.
And I think he's gonna only get better. He's pretty young. He's only 27, so I think the Giants bullpen will be fine this year. My biggest concern about the Giants is A, will they score enough runs? And B, will their lineup stay healthy? Because if one of those guys goes down, like, yeah, you got Bryce Eldridge, but then after that, dude, you got nothing, dude.
Yeah. It looks like Sam Huff is going to be our backup catcher because Murphy is had a mid back disc herniation. So he's likely done for at least the first half of the season.
Jesus.
Flores, I mean, he's a decent plug. I think Brent Wisely is a good plug at second or short.
Bro, like for
You got-
defense, but he's not going to give you much at the plate.
That's 100%. 100%.
Same with Luis Matos. Like Matos is like hella inconsistent at the plate, and that's why he like can't be an everyday. They've tried it. They've tried him being an everyday outfielder, and he's just not consistent enough.
Yep.
Like, do I think he's good to fill a couple days? Yeah, but I'm talking if you get like a guy Jung Hoo Lee out for a significant amount of time again, like dude, that it really hurts that lineup, dude.
Yeah.
And you could make it a case for all their top guys, like Lamont Wade last year, right? They can't afford that shit.
Yeah.
They can't afford those guys to get hurt because they have no one to replace them with.
I think you can probably see some steps this year from some of the young guys as well. The Wade Mecklers, the Casey Schmitz.
Man, they're all mid, dude. They're all like average.
Yeah.
Like outside of Bryce Eldridge and what's his face?
Luciano.
Luciano, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like Luciano needs to be given an opportunity to play every day. Obviously, he's not really going to get that with the infield they have, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like the offensive depth of the Giants does concern me, and they do have like some oft injured players.
Who are their oft injured players?
Lamont Wade, he's hurt pretty often.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Jung Hoo Lee's first year was last year, but I mean, like that was a pretty random injury.
Yeah, I don't think you can call that an oft injured.
Patrick Bailey gets hurt pretty often. He's got to stay healthy.
Looked good in the second half.
Yeah. But I mean, that's my only concern is like, will they score enough runs? Because like they're
100%.
the teams in their division are very good offensively. The Dodgers are very good. Like they'll put up runs, and it's just hard. Like no matter how good your pitching is, it's very difficult to like tell your pitchers to go out there and pitch fucking 1-2 run games. You know, hold
And
your
you
opponent
lose.
down. Yeah, it's fucking. You got to be able to put up runs, dude.
Yeah.
In the regular season.
Yeah.
And
I
that
think
division
they
got
are
some
gonna-
good teams to do that.
What's that?
This division has some good teams that can do it.
Yeah, I do think that this is going to be one of those like 6 or 7 teams that are fighting for those, last 2 wild card spots though.
Yeah, I agree.
If they're an 81 team though, 81 and 81, I don't
might
think
get it
that's
there.
going to be.
Because the NL is so good, dude.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, bro, like the teams in the NL Central, like they're gonna be fighting for the wild card. Like I'm telling you, bro, there's gonna be like 9 teams in the final like month of the season that are still gonna be fighting for like within 3 games of the wild card. Like that's how good I think the NL is.
Yeah.
That's why I think making the playoffs in this division, like if you're gonna play to make the playoff bets, that's probably. I mean, you're probably getting short numbers on like pretty much everybody.
Mhm.
I haven't looked at any of these teams to make the playoffs, but yeah, man, it's a good division, and I agree with you, Ben. I do think that they're gonna they're going to be one of those teams fighting for the last wild card.
Yeah. I don't necessarily know if they're going to be making it, but they're going to be there.
Yeah. And that brings us to the next team that could also be fighting for the wild card, but a team that I think got worse, not significantly worse, but they definitely got worse, and that's the San Diego Padres. Their win total is at 85.5 right now. Last year they won 93 games. They had arguably one of the best bullpens in baseball, but you lose Jerickson Profar, you lose Ha-Seong Kim, you lose Tanner Scott, you lose Kyle oh my God, Higashioka, you lose Donovan Solano. So you lose a lot of key contributors from last year's team. What's your thoughts on the Padres this year?
Yeah, I mean it's a kind of a stand pat position for me. I think you're gonna see a lot of players, I think it's gonna be even of players getting better and players getting worse. But they're gonna kind of round each other out. Like, I don't know if Jackson Merrill is going to have as good of a season as he did last year. He is
had a really good year.
Good enough that he definitely can, but I don't know if he's going to have that good of numbers. But okay, Jackson Merrill goes down a little bit, then you have Xander Bogaerts. Like, I don't think Xander can have a worse season than he did last year, so he can increase a little bit more too. So you get that kind of positive and negative balance out here. I think you probably won't see Michael King be as dominant as he was, but you're going to get an increase in Dylan Cease, who again wasn't bad last year, but wasn't his wasn't the previous Dylan Cease. I like the pickup of Nick Pivetta. I don't really know much about Kyle Hart, who's going to be their final starter. Having you there for a full year is probably going to be a good thing, even though he's almost 40 now. He's 38 and a half.
Yeah.
That, how long does that arm last? Is going to be my question. He's not going to be going deep into games anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, my thing with the Padres is I agree with a lot of what you're saying. Like, does Jackson Merrill replicate what he did last year? That's going to be very difficult. I think Bogaerts at this point is just washed, dude. Like, I just don't think he's a very good player anymore. And
I just don't think he can have as bad of a season as he did.
He's been bad
year.
for 2 years in a row now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
True.
Like,
once he got his big contract, he just said, "Fuck it."
He hasn't been the same, dude. And then the back half of that lineup is fucking terrible, dude. With Jason Hayward, Diaz, and Ornelas, and it was bad last year too. Like, the bottom half of their lineup, really outside of their top 4 guys last year, it was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
So I think they're kind of gonna run into the same situation here.
Yeah.
And now their bullpen isn't as good when you lose Tanner Scott. Don't get me wrong, their bullpen's still really good.
Great. Yeah.
But it's not as good.
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely going to fight for the playoffs, dude, for sure.
Oh yeah.
But I would not go over 85.5 games. I think
nope.
I think 85.5 games is a pretty fair spot on them. I definitely think they're the third best team in this division.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Diamondbacks are a lot better.
Yeah. I think San Diego and San Francisco are kind of like that.
Oh, I think the Padres are a lot better than the Giants.
Yeah, but I don't think it's that far off compared to where 2 to 3 is.
Yeah. No, I agree
so
with that.
I think it's like a 3.5. Like,
yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's a closer 3 to 4 than it is from 2 to 3. So
I agree with that. All right, so let's talk about the Diamondbacks that are right there. Their win total's at 86.5, but it's pretty juiced everywhere. So if you want to go over that, you got to pay like minus $1.20, minus $1.25, minus $1.22. Like, it's pretty juiced on the over.
Yeah, and I think that's reasonable. This is one of my favorite bets. Is the over in this division, is the over for Arizona. I think this team kind of takes a step up from where they were last year. You've got some great young talent there, and some, good, kind of middle-aged talent there. Your young guys with Corbin Carroll, with Jake McCarthy, with Gabe Moreno, with Perdomo. Like these are all guys that are getting another year of service time and are going to take a step up in a sense of like for Corbin Carroll did not have a great year last year. Um and kind of see him come back to that rookie of the year talent that he was. I think you've got some good old guys here in Ketel Marte with Guriel, with Eugenio Suarez, where they can kind of mentor and push these young guys to go even further. Then you got Pavin Smith, who's just Pavin Smith.
He was good last
He's
year.
he was okay last year, but he is definitely the odd duck in that.
Yeah, that one game he
in that
hit
lineup.
fucking 3 home runs against the Astros. That shit was crazy.
Yeah. I think for this year, I think their pitching got better with the signing of Corbin Burns. I don't know how long that's going to be. Um, a big positive to have Corbin Burns, but Burns, Gallon, Kelly is a great 1, 2, 3. And then to have Eduardo Rodriguez and Brandon Pfaadt, to round out your rotation is a great starting five.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think this team is arguably the second best roster in all of baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how good of a team I think this is. And I think Brandon Pfaadt is, I'm telling you right now, bro, like buy stock in Brandon Pfaadt, dude. The guy is going to have a breakout season, dude.
Mhm.
This is the year of Brandon Pfaadt. And their bullpen's really, really fucking good, dude. Like, they have a really fucking good bullpen.
I'm glad you know bullpens because I don't know bullpens.
Yeah, I mean, I really like AJ Puck, what he did last year after they acquired him from Miami. Justin Martinez is probably really the closer. He's got the nastiest stuff you've seen. Kevin Ginkel is really good in the setup spot, and so is Ryan Thompson. I think last year they really struggled with like after what's his face. Who was their closer last year? Ben fucking oh my god, Paul Sewald. Remember after he like collapsed and was like never the same, they were like really juggling spots in the bullpen. And one thing you always hear about bullpen guys and what they always talk about is like they like to know what their role is. You know what I mean? So when you're like juggling guys' roles throughout the season, it's very difficult for them to get settled. And I felt at the end of last year, they ran into a buzzsaw of San Diego. Like San Diego was just playing incredible baseball at the time. And basically the winner of that final series was going to make the playoffs. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I mean, they ran into a buzzsaw. And then their offense just like absolutely cooled down the last like 2 weeks of the season. And then their pitching wasn't good enough to like keep them in games. Like remember that Brewers series that they lost? I mean, dude, they just got fucking slaughtered in that series.
Merrill Kelly was horrible.
Yeah.
The same with Gallon.
Gallon had a bad year last year too.
Yeah.
But now having Burns, that definitely helps. And Brandon Pfaadt's going to take a step forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's great rotation, great offense, good defense. Yeah, I definitely think this is going to be the number 2. This is going to be the number 2 team in the division.
I think they might be the second best team in the NL.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate they play in a division with the Dodgers.
I'd put them at the 3rd.
Who's going to be better?
Atlanta.
Yeah. I just think their win total is like so low at 86.5. Like, dude, I definitely think they're like a 90, 91 win team.
Oh, 100%. I think that this is I love the over here. I will be taking that bet. I haven't put it in yet. Kind of want it to move to 87. Just to get that juice under, and if I push, I push. But I'm not even worried about a push at 87. I think they'll be above an 87 win team.
Yeah.
Um,
And they have hella good young guys coming up too that are like MLB ready, like Adrian Del Castillo. Like he played at the end of last year and was hella good. And now
Mhm.
you get fucking Moreno back healthy. And then you have Jordan Lawler, who's like one of the top prospects in baseball. He's coming up. He'll probably play. He's definitely going to make the Major League Club at some point if he doesn't
at
make it
some
out of
point this
spring
year, yeah.
training. Like this team just has hella fucking good young talent coming up
Yep.
on
Barossa.
on top of like being fucking young. Like Jake McCarthy's up and like he had a breakout year last year and like this is a former number one pick. Like this is what he's supposed to be. Like this team's just fucking got depth, dude.
Yeah.
This team's got depth. And I think that's important. That's why I like look at this number at 86.5. I'm like, dude, why is it only 86.5?
Well, because they're in the division with the Dodgers, and I think the Dodgers pushes
But the
all
Mets
of those
win
numbers
totals
down.
higher than theirs. And I think they're a better team than the Mets. Like easily, I think they're a better team than the Mets.
Yeah, but the Mets have Miami and Washington in their division.
That's true, but Washington's good.
And you have
And Miami's got
Bill-
pitching.
Miami's not good. And you have Atlanta and Philly, which are going to be and the Mets that are going to beat up on themselves.
Yeah.
So those are going to be a lot of kind of split series, which is why.
Well, I just think playing your division less. Because, I mean, dude, the NL West is that's a hella good division, too. Like, the Diamondbacks aren't going to go into San Francisco or San Diego and LA and just, like, win series. Like, you know what I mean? Those are all going to be, like, hella good series.
Yeah.
But it's those other teams, you know what I mean? Like, I think the Diamondbacks are better than a lot of these other teams in these divisions. They're going to play them. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
There's like, that's what I'm saying is like, there's only one other team I would take over, two other teams maybe. The Dodgers and Braves I would take. Those are the only teams I would take over the Diamondbacks in the NL.
Yep.
And I could make a case that the Diamondbacks are better than the Braves. Obviously, we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah.
But I could make a case for them being better than them preseason, like going into the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the Diamondbacks are going to be that number 4 seed coming out of the playoffs. Coming into the playoffs, sorry.
Yeah, they'll probably be the first wild card.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. They're going to be, I mean, there's like, I know it's crazy to say this because like the Dodgers are like minus 300 to win the fucking division and they're by far the best team in the division in baseball. But like I think that for the like what are the Diamondbacks to win the NL West, Ben? What like 8-1, 9-1?
Diamondbacks are, you can get them anywhere from plus 700 to plus 1,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say like 9-1 or 10-1. I would take a shot on the Diamondbacks because I mean there is a puncher's chance they could win this division, dude.
It's gonna be tough, man.
I know, but
The Dodgers are so.
But remember when
stacked.
the Giants fucking won the division that one year against the Dodgers? Like the Giants weren't a better team than the Dodgers, but the Giants just like.
Yeah, but the Dodgers
had a hella
weren't
good
this
year.
Dodgers.
But that Dodgers team was like a bigger favorite to win the World Series than the Dodgers were last year. Because that was that team after like Walker Buehler had like that breakout year, and then they added fucking Scherzer at the deadline. Like that team was fucking like that was a pretty loaded team. I mean, I know it didn't have Shohei, but it was a fucking loaded team.
Yeah.
And they didn't fucking win the division. I mean, anything is possible, dude.
Yeah, I mean this Dodgers team though, and I know we're getting into it right now. It's like they are like an all-star team, and the all-star game might as well just be the fucking Dodgers versus the rest of the league.
I mean, is their offense really an all-star? I mean, like, does Teoscar replicate what he did last year? Freddie Freeman and Mookie are only a year older.
Yeah, but they didn't show any, other than Freddie's ankle last year, they didn't show any single sign of regressing. Of a downhill trend at all.
I mean, Mookie got hurt last year. Is that to say he's going to get hurt again? I don't know, but I mean, yeah, I mean, they're still like top of the level players, but I mean, they are getting a year older, and at some point, father time is undefeated. Ben, does that mean that they're for sure gonna like?
Not against Tom Brady.
I mean, there's very few. I mean, LeBron and Brady are like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, there's very few and far between that can overcome father time.
Yeah.
But I do think that this Dodgers team is really fucking good. I mean, their win total is 103, 104 and a half for a reason.
Yeah. And to be honest, I'd like the over on this. This is
Yeah,
a high.
I
What's
wouldn't
that?
bet the under.
Yeah. It's a high win total at 103, 104. I mean, you're 11 to like 14 games more than Atlanta here, but I mean, they are strong in like the majority of the positions. Offensively, they're strong. Um, when I, I guess Sung Kim is probably their weakest link there, maybe Max Muncy, because of his injuries too.
Conforto.
What's that?
Conforto. He's probably their worst player.
No, Conforto isn't their worst player.
Yeah, by far, dude. What the fuck?
Conforto was good for the Giants last year. He was the only thing that kept the Giants afloat for a majority of that season.
Dude sucks, bro.
And he was good in the clubhouse too.
Yeah, he's probably a clubhouse guy. I mean, like, to be honest, he's like the back of the lineup guy for the Dodgers, which is like, good for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think their rotation's fucking deep too.
Yep.
The only thing that's gonna hurt them is going into the season. They got a few injuries they got to fucking overcome, but I mean, their bullpen's still hella deep. Like, I mean,
Adding Tanner Scott, adding Kirby Yates.
it's just like they have no weakness, dude. Is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like, they really don't have a weakness. And really, the only thing you could consider their weakness is that like their star players are getting older. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, the Dodgers. Like I said, we were talking about to begin the show or before the show or whatever. Like the Dodgers are going to be like minus. Dude, I'm interested to see. Like, we might see a lot of minus 400s from them this year, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yep. In a lot of these games, I mean, I think the majority of games in the NL Central, I think half of the the NL East teams, I think probably your Arizona, San Diego, you're probably going to get like minus 180, minus 200 there. So I mean, there's definitely opportunity to make a lot of money by betting the other teams because they are still going to win or they're still going to lose, a quarter to a third of these games.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed.
it's finding those right spots to win a lot of money because you're going to get a lot of good plus money.
Yeah.
I think if you find that San Francisco game in the series where they win a game, because San Francisco and LA always fight hard.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a 2-1 series.
Oh, and the Dodgers are gonna be like everybody's World Series.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to keep that in mind. Like, wherever they go, the stadium's gonna be sold out just because of Shohei.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get a lot of teams like best efforts against the Dodgers. But that's the thing is like they're still gonna win like 110 games probably.
Yep.
I mean, I wouldn't bet the over on this just because like it's a lot of fucking games. But I would not bet the under. I could tell you that much.
Yeah.
I would not bet the under. It should. I mean, it's a hella good team, but I mean, winning 105 games is tough, dude.
Yeah.
It's a lot of games.
It's a lot of games.
Like 90-win teams in baseball are very good teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Like 100-win teams in baseball are exceptionally good.
Yep. And with this starting rotation, I think you put that in the, close to exceptionally good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's gonna be a good fucking team.
Yeah.
They're very rarely gonna be
Do we know how much Shohei's going to pitch this
Dogs.
year?
Every seventh day, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's how it was with the Angels, and because that's how it is in Japan. Like that's why they're trying to have this like 6-man rotation. That way, Roki and Shohei can like pitch, like every Friday, Saturday. Like those are their days to pitch, and then everyone else kind of works around it.
Okay.
Because that's how they do it in Japan. Like you pitch the same day every week.
Okay. Yeah, this team's going to be good. I see them going over.
Fuck you, man. I can see the hate in your eyes when you say that shit.
But
The sorrow.
it's gonna be a different story, and I mean it's not gonna be that different of a story, but in 5 to 10 years when they're paying all these contracts,
Oh yeah.
and I think because they're doing this and there's the possibility of a lockout coming off of this CBA, or at least an extended break, that this also may come to bite them in the ass, because that's another half a year to a year that they're going to have to pay these guys and are not going to get baseball time.
Yeah. I'll say this too, as far as like motivation is concerned and stuff. I'm not saying the Dodgers aren't motivated to win, but last year after they won the World Series, like you could hear a lot of their motivation was built up because they were like underdogs to the Padres, and they even said like we thought the Padres were the best. We knew we thought we were the best team, but we thought the Padres were the second best team. So we felt whoever won that series was going to win the World Series. Like that was the World Series, right? And I think after they beat the Padres, because like they weren't good against the Padres in the regular season, and they beat them in that, and then that like motivated them, that pushed them to go over the edge. Well, this year they're going to be a huge favorite against everybody. Like they're never going to be an underdog.
Yeah.
So in a playoff situation, and anything can happen in the playoffs, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like you know, anything can happen. Team gets fucking incredibly hot.
Ask the Giants.
You get unreal pitching and shit. But they're never going to be an underdog to any team in the playoffs. There's not a single team in Major League Baseball where they will be an underdog unless their entire starting rotation gets hurt and like two of their guys in their lineup get hurt.
Yep.
So that to me is like, how is the mindset going into the playoffs this year instead of last year where they were basically an underdog? They felt going into
competition.
The playoffs. Yeah. And I'm not saying the betting world on this either. I'm just saying like the way players think. Like players know who the best teams are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like if anyone listened to like their post game interviews and stuff and their podcast appearances, like the way they talked about that Padres series, I mean, it was just like they knew those were the two best teams, and but you know what I mean?
Yeah, and we knew it. Whoever won that series was winning the World Series.
Yeah, we were so fucking close, bro.
Yep. That would have been super nice.
Although I do think it would have been difficult for the Padres going forward because they wouldn't have had Musgrove. So they really would have been, at some point, that shit was going to like really haunt them.
I still think they beat the Yankees.
Yeah, I definitely think they were the second best team.
Yeah.
Because their bullpen was so deep last year.
Yep.
But man, they just fucking got ice cold for those 2 fucking games, bro.
Yep. It should have been Padres, Tigers.
Jesus.
And man, would my fucking bank account be mighty nice if that was the case.
Seriously. Dude. But the fact we were pretty close on both those futures, I mean, we got incredible value on the Tigers because we got it before they went on the run, basically.
Yep.
Like they weren't even in the playoff hunt when we made the bet, right?
They just started their push.
Yeah, they still like weren't in the playoffs at the season ended like that day.
Yeah, what did we get them at? Like
40-1.
Yeah.
It was like plus 4,000 to win the AL. 40-1.
Was it 40-1?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
I mean, the fact they got in the playoffs and we legit had a chance, I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit, like this is getting real now. And then we got
Yeah.
then we had Scooball in the fucking elimination game against the Guardians. I'm telling you right now, dude, if the Tigers win that series, dude, they win the World Series because the fucking Yankees weren't hitting the ball well at the time.
Yep. Okay. Oh well. But we were close. And yeah. And we get it this year.
You know, Tigers are gonna be good this year.
Yeah.
But we aren't gonna
I'm
get it at
excited.
that 40-1 price that we
That's very
got
true.
last year.
But we'll find the team. We'll find the team that has those odds to make the playoffs, and see the metrics of them getting hot and push that there.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's always good in-season opportunities, and that's what we're gonna talk about in the future show. Really, it's like, so one of these teams that you think are really good in preseason get off to a slow start, and you can get a fucking really good number. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's a 6-month season, dude. Like you can have a bad month to start the season and a bad 2 months even, and still make the playoffs. So it's yeah, we'll see. And usually the best teams start playing their best baseball in like middle of June.
Yeah, I was gonna say July. So yeah, I feel you on that, and I'm excited for this year too. Like I'm gonna do the whatever the lineup is, I'm gonna put a very small wager on every single team and see how many times those hit.
On every single team? What do you mean?
And every team parlay.
Oh, like, do you have a strategy for it, or you're just gonna try to pick all the winners in the day?
Yeah, I'm just gonna try and pick all the winners in the day. And if I win once, it'll be covered for the whole season.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun. And I'm doing like, $1 to $5 bets. Like, so, $35 a week. And if a $5 bet hits on a 15-leg parlay, like,
yeah,
that's gonna be that pays for it.
Yeah. Hey,
so
Irv and I hit that parlay fucking 3 years ago. The fucking 8-legger.
Well, that's way far back there.
I know, dude.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. No, I remember that. I do remember that. And I was jealous that you guys put that bet in without talking to me.
Bro, we were on like a heater for like a month, dude. Like we just like, that shit was nice.
Yep.
But actually, that was like the last 2 years I've actually been like way better betting baseball than that season.
100%.
We just managed to hit like that parlay and then one smaller one.
Yep. Yeah. And even if I do like $1 a day, like it'll pay for it. So
yeah, now I don't even do parlays, but yeah, I mean, fuck it.
Yeah.
I mean, hitting all the teams in a day is like, that's extremely difficult to do.
Oh yeah.
But you never know, dude.
I'll hit it when there's only 4 games on a day. Like one of those days where there's only 4 games. That's the day I'll hit.
That was the parlay we hit. We hit all. There was 8 games on. We hit all 8.
All 8, yeah.
We went 8 for 8, and it was 7 favorites and 1 underdog, and the 1 underdog was like plus 320.
Damn. Yeah.
It was the Orioles at Blue Jays, and it was Tyler Wells versus Kevin Gausman. I remember this because it was the first leg of the parlay, so we were like, all right, if we get over that, we should be pretty clear.
Yeah.
And then they win, and then we had one game. It was the Texas Rangers versus the Tigers, and the Tigers were dog shit that year. Remember?
Yep.
And Martin Perez was like an all-star that year. He was pitching, and the Tigers were the Rangers were losing 3-1, Ben, in the top of the 9th, and the Rangers came back, won that game. And then we had Shohei Ohtani on the mound against the Mariners to close it out. And the Angels won that game like 2-0.
Wow. Yeah.
It was a crazy fucking, yeah. At the end, like the last like 6 outs, we're just sitting there like, oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
But I knew after we hit the the Rangers, I was like, oh yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. Baseball gods were looking down upon us that day.
There we go.
But the fact we hit that plus 320, dude.
Yep. I will hit at least one 15 leg parlay this year.
Yeah, like you said, if you hit that, shit
Pays for the season. Yeah.
So, I wouldn't suggest everyone do that unless you really want to, because it is difficult.
Oh, it's incredibly difficult. Incredibly difficult. To be honest, I don't expect to hit one. I expect to hit a parlay this year.
Damn.
It might not be a day where all of the games are played, but I do expect to hit I expect to be even on the season for these $1 to $5 bets. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do.
All right.
Whether it's 1 or 5.
Nice.
So, but we'll figure it out. Whether it's fucking $7 a week or $35 a week.
Yeah.
That's
if you hit one, that'll be dope. That'd be dope. If you hit a 15 banger.
Yeah. 15 banger, even at $1, it's gonna be a couple $1,000.
Yeah, that's hella fucking.
So
trying to like do the math in my head, but I can't fucking do that. All right.
Yeah.
So what do we like for this division? What bets do you like, futures wise or win totals?
I like two. I like Arizona over at that 86.5. I wish it would jump up to 87 so we can actually get, minus 110 there. But I doubt you're going to see that. So you are going to have to pay the price there. I like the Dodgers over 103.5. I do think they win more than 103 games. The rest of the bets are kind of right where I think they should be: San Diego, San Francisco, and Colorado.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely I lean Giants under 80.5, but I wouldn't play it. And I also lean Padres under, but I wouldn't play it. But I do like the D-backs over 86.5. I do think that's a good bet. I think if you can get them also to win the division at 9 or 10 to 1, I think it's worth a little sprinkle.
Yeah.
Because I think there's good value there. But yeah, and I wouldn't play Dodgers under. I just think these numbers are pretty close. I think they're pretty close.
Yeah. I think this division is spot on minus Arizona.
Yeah. I think the Diamondbacks are definitely a top 3 team in the NL, so I definitely think that number is too low. I agree with that. How was that beer, Ben?
It's a very good beer. Almost done with it, but you can see that it does have legs on it. Kinda.
Yeah.
But it's a very good beer. This is one that I definitely think you can drink in the summertime. I wouldn't go on those really, really hot days, because it is a 6.8%, and it is I
would fuck that shit.
It's not like it's not like a Stella, which is my backup beer, in case I finish this beer. Stella you can drink when it's 100 degrees out. Weekend vibes, I'd wait until it's like the evening where it's 80 degrees out and you want a good sipping IPA. This is going to be your good sipping IPA. So for an IPA, I am going to give this one, because of the tropical hop flavors and nose notes, I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
All right. I really like that beer, but I do agree with you that it's really heavy. It's so yeah, you don't want to drink too many of them. But yeah,
I don't know how you drink a 6-pack there.
Bro, they're very tasty, dude. I love the flavor of them. But thank you everybody for joining us. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Taps and Jacks. Follow us on Twitter at Taproom_sports.
Ooh. Go take Arizona right now, 86.5, minus 105.
Where?
OMB.
Okay, nice. Good praise. Thank you everybody for joining us. We'll be back on Sunday night. Until then, have a blessed week. We'll catch y'all later. Peace.
Later.